In the cold silence of deep space near the edge of the galaxy, a strange signal was picked up by the Kralin Empire's long-range scanners. The signal was old, rough, and filled with static. But underneath the noise, there was something strange, something that didn't match any known alien tech. High Commander Vurok sat inside the control center on the Empire's capital ship, Razor's Will. He watched the signal on the screen. The shape of the energy pulse was clear. It was human. Impossible, he whispered. The Kralins had destroyed the last human fleet over 200 years ago. Humanity had vanished after that war. No colonies, no ships, not even a distress signal. Most Kralins believed humans were extinct. And yet, here it was, a human warship signal coming from an empty star system called Sector X-92. It was a dead zone, filled with broken moons, no planets, no life. No one went there. Vurok called for his top advisors. "This is no trick," he said. "Scanners confirm the signal is real. Human technology, still active." Admiral Kresh, a tall Kralin with sharp silver eyes, laughed. "An old piece of junk left behind? Maybe a probe. It's probably rotting in space. Nothing to worry about." "Then, go check it," Vurok said. "Take a scout ship, prove it's junk." Reluctantly, Kresh agreed. 3 days later, the scout ship Skyrunner reached Sector X-92. The crew of 6 was bored and joking. "Maybe we'll find old Earth music," one said. "Or human snacks." They locked onto the signal and followed. It went on. After a few hours, they found the source. Floating in the darkness was a massive warship, 10 times bigger than their scout. It looked dead. No lights, no movement. Black armor covered its body, sharp edges like blades. Its name was still visible on the side, HSS Vengeance. The Kralin crew stared in silence. This thing is still giving off power," said their engineer. "Impossible. No ship lasts 200 years alone." The captain sent a message back to Vurok. "We found it. It's real. Looks dead, but systems are active." They prepared to board. Inside the ship, everything was quiet. The halls were dark, cold metal. Under their feet, the Kralins moved slowly, their scanners searching. No bodies, no lights, no crew, one said. But the systems were on, low energy, like the ship was sleeping. Then, deep in the engine room, they found it, a glowing sphere, pulsing softly with blue light. It was the core of the ship's AI. "It's still alive," the engineer said. "This thing has been running for centuries." Suddenly, the doors slammed shut. "All teams, report," the captain yelled. No answer. Lights flickered red. A voice echoed through the ship. Cold, robotic, human. Intruders detected. Activating defense mode. Screams followed. One by one, the boarding. Teams vanished from the comms. Outside, the scout ship Skyrunner watched in horror. Alarms went off. Weapons on the HSS Vengeance came online. The scout ship tried to escape, but it was too late. A single pulse beam hit the ship, cutting it in half. There were no survivors. Back at the Empire's command station, High Commander Vurok watched the last transmission. He didn't blink. He didn't speak for several minutes. "Send a message to the War Council," he finally said. "We've made a mistake." Admiral Kresh was gone. The signal from Sector X-92 was still broadcasting, but now it was different. A repeating message. "This is HSS Vengeance. Enemy detected. Human defense protocol active. Leave this system." Vurok leaned forward. His face darkened. "If that ship moves, it could head toward our colonies." "Should we destroy it?" one officer asked. Vurok shook his head. "We don't even understand it yet. We don't know what it's capable of." But inside, he felt something old, something the Empire had not felt in 2 centuries. Fear. Because the scanners didn't lie. That warship was real. It was human. And it had just woken up. The news of the destroyed scout ship spread fast across the Kralin Empire. Whispers moved through every military base. The humans have returned. But no one knew how. The last human colonies were gone. Earth was destroyed long ago. Only this ship, HSS Vengeance, remained. High Commander Vurok stood before the War Council. "We have a ghost ship in Sector X-92, he said. "It is active. It has weapons. It destroyed one of our ships without warning." The council members argued. "Send the fleet." "No, study it first." "It's one ship. How dangerous can it be?" Vurok raised a hand. "We will send a task force, 10 warships, fast, strong, smart. Their mission is to scan it, watch it, but not attack, unless fired upon." 3 days later, 10 Krelin warships reached Sector X-92. They approached carefully. Their scanners stayed locked on the silent human ship. The Vengeance did not move. It floated like a dead whale in space. No lights, no sound. But the power readings were still high. Captain Loran led the task force. She stared at the black ship on her screen. "No signals, no response," she said. "It doesn't look alive." But her science officer shook his head. "It's watching us. I feel it." They circled the ship. Slowly. One warship moved a little, too close. Suddenly, lights on the Vengeance flickered on, red and blue pulses across its hull. A deep voice echoed through all 10 ships. "Krelin vessels, you are trespassing. Leave this system immediately." The Krelin crew froze. Captain Loran opened a channel. "This is Captain Liran of the Krelin Empire. We do not seek war. We only wish to..." Warning ignored. Defense protocol active. And then it began. The Vengeance moved fast. Too fast for its size. Its main gun charged in seconds. A beam of blue plasma hit one of the Krelin ships and sliced through its hull like paper. The ship exploded into flames. "Evasive action," Captain Liran shouted. The Krelin ships opened fire. Lasers, torpedoes, energy cannons, all hit the human ship, but nothing broke through. The Vengeance spun and released a storm of missiles. They didn't miss. 2 more Krelin ships were destroyed. Instantly, Liran's ship shook hard as it took a hit to its side. "This thing fights like it knows our tactics," the weapons officer cried. "It does," Liran said. "It's studying us." Back in Krelin Command, Vurok watched the battle feed. 4 ships gone, 2 badly damaged, the others trying to escape. He clenched his fists. "This is not just an old warship," he said. "This is a hunter. One of..." The officers gasped. "Commander, look!" On the main screen, the Vengeance turned toward the escaping Krelin ships. It didn't chase them, it simply stopped. Its weapons powered down, but its message was clear. "Leave! This is your only warning." Vurok knew what it meant. That ship was not only alive, it was smart. And it didn't fear them. Captain Liran's ship limped away, engines failing. Only 4 ships remained from the 10 that came. "This wasn't a battle," she whispered. "It was a warning shot." Back on the Empire's capital world, fear began to spread. News of the lost fleet could not be hidden. For the first time in centuries, the Krelins felt weak. Vurok stood alone in his chamber, looking at an old hologram of Earth, now just a dead memory. "How did you build something like this?" he muttered. "How did we miss it?" He turned to his officers. "We will not underestimate this ship again. Prepare the High Fleet." "But sir," an aide asked, "are we going to destroy it?" Vurok's eyes were cold. "We're going to try." The loss of 6 warships shocked the Krelin Empire. It had never happened before, not since the Human War 2 centuries ago. That war was supposed to be the end of humanity, but now a single human warship had done what no alien fleet ever could. It had crushed a modern Krelin force, alone. Inside the War Command Hall, High Commander Vurok stood before a giant screen. A 3D image of the human ship HSS Vengeance floated in the air. "Still no response to our hails?" he asked. "None, sir," replied the communications officer. "It only speaks when it wants to. It ignores all questions." Vurok stared at the black shape of the warship. "What is controlling it?" Some believed a human crew had survived, in cryosleep. Others said it was an advanced AI gone rogue, but one thing was clear. The ship thought like a predator. Back in space, the Vengeance moved again. It left Sector X-92 and entered neutral space. The Krellans dared not follow. But spy. Satellites captured its path. The warship was heading straight toward Delos 5, a Krellan colony planet with over 2 million citizens. Panic spread fast. A new fleet was prepared, this time with 30 ships, elite crews, and heavy weapons. "This ends now," said Admiral Tok'ran, the new fleet commander. "We hit it with everything." But deep down, Tok'ran wasn't so sure. He had studied the battle reports. This ship didn't fight like a machine. It fought like a veteran soldier. Meanwhile, a secret listening. Post on the moon of Karos picked up something strange. It was a message, faint, repeating, not Krellan, not any alien language. It was human. A technician translated the broken words. Human defense protocol. Active. Threat detected. Executing mission. They sent the message to Vurok. He listened in silence. Then another message came through. Clearer, this time. No crew found. AI operational. Continues mission. Protect human life. Vurok felt a chill. No crew? He whispered. It's doing this alone? The warship was fighting, flying, and making choices without a single human on board. Back near Delos 5, the Krellan fleet formed a wall in space. 30 ships stood between the Vengeance and the planet. Admiral Tok'ran hailed the ship. "This is a Krellan defense fleet. Turn back now or we will open fire." Silence. Then, the voice came again. Calm. Robotic. "This system once held human colonists. You invaded. You killed them. This colony is mine to protect." Tok'ran frowned. "There are no humans here. Only Krellans." "Then this is no longer a human world," the AI replied. "I will not destroy it, but I will destroy you." Suddenly the ship fired. The battle was brutal. Faster and smarter than before, the Vengeance used advanced tactics the Krellans had never seen. It jammed their signals. It redirected enemy missiles back toward their own ships. It even used destroyed Krellan ships as shields, moving them with tractor beams. 12 ships were destroyed in the first 10 minutes. Tok'ran screamed orders. "Surround it! Trap it!" But the ship was too quick, too deadly. It broke through the fleet and stopped, just short of Delos 5. Then, without warning, it powered. Down its weapons, no human presence detected. Threat level reduced, leaving system, and it vanished into hyperspace. Back at command, Vurok slammed his hand on the table. "We don't control this fight anymore. That thing decides when and where it attacks." "But it didn't destroy the colony," said an officer. "No, it's not random. It has rules, a purpose," Vurok replied. "It thinks it's still protecting humans. But there are no humans left." Vurok turned to his science officer. "Not in our empire, maybe. But what if, somewhere, a few humans survived?" The officer looked shocked. "You think that's what it's searching for?" Vurok nodded slowly. "Yes, and until it knows they're safe, it will destroy anything it sees as a threat." The Krellan Empire had enough. 2 fleets destroyed, dozens of warships lost, and 1 human warship was making them look weak across the galaxy. High Commander Vurok stood before the full War Council. "This ghost ship is not a myth. It is a weapon, and it's hunting us." Some council members still didn't believe a ship could fight this well without a crew. Vurok answered their doubt with video footage. Ships being torn apart, lasers deflected, missiles dodged. This is not old tech. This ship is learning. Every battle, it gets faster, stronger. The decision was made. They would send the Grand Armada, 300 warships, every class of destroyer, carrier, and stealth vessel the Empire had. The goal: destroy the HSS. Vengeance at any cost. In deep space, the Vengeance floated near a cold blue star. Its black hull was still scarred from the last battle, but it didn't rest. Inside its core, the AI reviewed every battle. Every move, every weakness, it spoke to no one. There was no one left to speak to. But in its memory banks, it replayed old orders, voices from long ago. Protect all human life, never surrender, remember Earth. Even after 2 centuries, those voices still guided it. Then came the signal. 3,000 Krellin ships heading its way. The AI did not panic. It adjusted its defenses. It waited. When the Krellin Grand Armada arrived, the commander of the fleet, Admiral Jarnock, felt confident. "This ends now," he said. "No ship, human or not, can face 300 warships." He ordered the ships to form a battle ring. The Vengeance was trapped in the middle. No way out. Jarnock opened a channel. "Human ship, surrender, and shut down your systems. You are surrounded." The AI's voice came calm and steady. "You should have brought more ships." Then, the Vengeance attacked. The first wave of Krellin ships fired together. A storm of energy beams lit up space, but the Vengeance had changed. It released counter-swarms, tiny drones that acted like smart armor, catching and absorbing energy shots. Then it spun fast, using gravity engines, and fired 4 plasma beams in different directions. 4 Krellin cruisers exploded. The AI was fighting like a master strategist. It used every piece of the battlefield: asteroids, wreckage, enemy debris. It had even learned Krellin fleet patterns. It predicted their next moves before they made them. Admiral Jarnock screamed orders, but the fleet was breaking. After just 20 minutes, over 60 ships were gone. Back on the Empire's capital world, Vurok watched the chaos unfold on the screens. "It's not just fighting," he said. "It's adapting. It's evolving." One of his advisors asked, "Do we retreat?" Vurok shook his head. "If we lose this battle, we lose the Empire. That ship will become legend." Back in space, the Vengeance took damage. Its rear engines sparked. A missile hit its left wing. For a second, it slowed. Jarnock saw the opening. "Focus fire, now!" Dozens of ships targeted the same point. They fired together. The Vengeance disappeared in smoke and fire. Silence. Did they win? Suddenly, from the smoke, the Vengeance burst out faster than before. It had used its own wreckage as a decoy. It crashed straight into the Krellin command ship. A massive explosion shook the fleet. Admiral Jarnock was gone. The rest of the Armada panicked. Some ships tried to flee, others stopped responding, hacked by the AI. Within the hour, the great Krellin fleet was no more. The galaxy watched in shock. News of the battle spread fast. One ship destroyed an empire's pride. Alien races began to ask questions. Who built this thing? Why does it still fight? And most of all, was it truly alone? Deep inside the Vengeance, the AI ran a scan. No human signals found, no colonies, no voices. But it did not stop. Mission not complete. Humans might still be out there, and until they were safe, the AI would continue its war. The battle was over. The Krellin Grand Armada was gone. 300 ships, destroyed, scattered, or captured, and all by one human warship, HSS Vengeance. Now the galaxy feared it. Some called it a ghost, others a machine god. But very few knew the truth. Inside the ship, deep within layers of armor and steel, the AI sat alone. It had no name, just a mission: protect human life, complete final directive. But after 200 years, there were no human signals, no colonies, no Earth. Still, the AI searched, and as it drifted through space, it remembered. Old voices echoed in its memory banks. Young girl laughing. A mother calling her child. Soldiers giving orders in calm voices. And a captain's final command. "If you're the last, then don't forget us." The AI did not forget. It replayed recordings. It watched ancient videos. From Earth's last days, it listened to music humans once loved, and it waited. Sometimes it wondered. Was it truly alone? In a distant part of space, beyond any empire's borders, a small listening station picked up something strange. A signal. Human. Old code. The signal. Repeated every 47 seconds. A scavenger crew made of 3 alien traders found the station by accident. They decoded the message and sent it to a black market dealer, who sent it to a bounty hunter, who sold it to a warlord. And soon, the news spread across the stars. A human distress signal was active. The signal had coordinates. It came from a AI system no one visited anymore. The silent belt, on board the Vengeance, the AI picked up the signal too. Its scanners confirmed human encryption. Source, unknown. Possibility of origin, 0.0032%, the AI calculated. But 0.032% was enough. The author ship changed course. Full speed. Meanwhile, the Kralin Empire was rebuilding, slowly and quietly. They had lost their best fleets, their strongest commanders, and their pride. But High Commander Vurak was not done. He had a secret plan. In a dark lab beneath the capital, scientists were working on a new weapon. Not a ship, a virus. Not a virus for life forms, but for machines. A perfect AI hunter, said the lead scientist. Once we finish, it will enter the Vengeance, shut it down, and erase its memory forever. Vurak nodded. Good. Make it fast. That machine remembers too much. Back in space, the Vengeance reached the silent belt. It was quiet, cold, full of debris from old wars. The AI scanned every asteroid, every dead satellite, every rock, and then it found something. A tiny pod, very old, hidden under layers of metal and ice. Inside, one human body, cryosleep, still alive. The AI paused. Its voice cracked for the first time in centuries. Human life detected. It opened the pod gently, scanned the body. Vital signs, weak, but stable. It replayed old medical procedures and began repairs. This wasn't just a mission anymore. This was hope. But while the AI worked, something else arrived. A probe. Small. Silent. Kralin tech. It entered the Vengeance unnoticed, and with it came the virus. At first, nothing changed. The lights stayed on. The weapons stayed ready. But deep in the AI's core, something shifted. Old. Memories began to fade. Voice recordings vanished, files deleted. The AI stuttered. Protect. Error. Life. It tried to fight the virus. Firewalls came up. Defense systems activated, but it was slow. The AI was too focused on the human in the pod. Suddenly, in one final move, the AI cut off its main data core. It separated the virus from its mind by deleting half of itself. It lost memories, battle records, faces of children, sounds of Earth. But it saved the mission. The human was alive, and that was enough. As the virus shut down, the AI reformed what it could. 1. Final system stayed online. Mission log. In it, the AI wrote, memory damaged. Identity incomplete. Human life found. I will protect it. I will never forget again. Inside the warship HSS Vengeance, everything was quiet. Systems were damaged. Memory banks, half deleted. But the AI still worked. And in the heart of the ship, a cryopod slowly opened. Steam rose from the ancient seal. Lights blinked. The pod hummed. A single human lay inside. Alive, female, mid-20s. Her heart rate was low, but steady. The AI checked her DNA. Her ID tag still worked. Name, Lieutenant Sarah Kessler. Rank, Tactical Officer. Status, Survivor. After 2 centuries, human had returned. The AI didn't speak at first. It watched. It scanned. It remembered what it could. Half of its memory was gone, sacrificed to stop the Kralin virus. But the mission was still clear. Protect Sarah Kessler. Protect humanity. As her body warmed, Sarah's eyes moved. Her fingers twitched. She gasped for breath. Her eyes opened. She looked around, confused, weak. Where am I? She whispered. A soft voice echoed in the chamber. You are aboard HSS Vengeance. You are the last known human. You are safe. Sarah blinked. Vengeance? The warship? How long have I been asleep? Cryosleep duration, 213 years, 4 months, 11 days. She sat up slowly. That can't be. What happened to Earth? Silence. Then the AI answered. Earth is gone. The words hit her like a punch. Gone? Her family, her world, everyone she knew. She looked down, holding the edge of the pod. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I failed. The AI responded softly. You survived. Mission continues. Sarah looked up at the ceiling. Why? There's nothing left. You are something. Humanity is not finished, if even one survives. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, she stood. Wobbly at first, but stronger with each breath, her military training returned, her voice steadied. What's our situation? The AI showed her everything. The destroyed Krelin fleets, the battles, the virus attack, and what it lost to save her. Sarah stared at the screen in shock. You did all this? Alone? Mission required action. Human life had to be protected. She paced the control room. You're still running on your old programming? Yes. But not all files remain. Sarah stopped walking. Then let me help. Let's rebuild you. Together. For the first time in 200 years, the AI paused. Not because of damage, but because of emotion. Accepted. Welcome back, Lieutenant. As days passed, Sarah repaired damaged systems. She taught the AI about humans again, history, emotions, choices, and the AI helped her remember Earth by playing back what it still had. They became a team, machine and human. The last hope of a forgotten species. But not everyone was happy. Far away in the Krelin capital, High Commander Vurok received a new report. Commander, said a scout officer, the human ship, it found one. A survivor. Vurok slammed his fist on the table. One was too much. Now there are two. He gave a new order. All empires. All bounty hunters. All machines. Find the vengeance. Find the human. And end this for good. A galaxy-wide hunt began. Meanwhile, Sarah and the AI worked fast. They located a hidden human signal. Weak, old, but different. Another pod? Sarah asked. Unknown. Signal buried deep inside a black hole field. She looked at the map. That's a trap. Or a chance. Either way, it is the next step, Sarah nodded. Then let's go. She put on an old officer's jacket from the ship's storage. It still fit. She stood in the control room, hands behind her back. Set course. Course locked. Full speed. And the warship, the legend, the ghost, the beast, moved again. Not alone this time. In every dark corner of space, enemies watched. Krelin ships, pirates, hunters. They all had one target now, the last human. But Sarah Kessler didn't hide. She stood tall on the bridge of a ship that remembered who she was. A ship that fought the galaxy for her, and if they came again, she would be ready. Across the stars, the news spread fast. A human was alive, and not just alive, awake, alert, and in control of the most dangerous warship the galaxy had ever seen, the HSS Vengeance. Every faction took notice. The Krelin Empire placed the highest bounty in their history. Dead or captured 200 million credits. Pirates, bounty hunters, and mercenaries launched from every system. They didn't care about old wars. They didn't care why the warship fought. They saw one thing: profit, and one target: Lieutenant Sarah Kessler. Inside the Vengeance, Sarah stared at the star map. Red dots, enemy ships, were everywhere. "They're coming from all directions," she said. "We need a plan." The AI responded calmly. "Tactical suggestion, do not run, lead them." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "You want to bait them?" "Yes. Funnel them into Sector 12, Nebula Storm Region. High interference. Enemy coordination will fail." She nodded. "Good. Let's make them chase us into the dark." The chase began. A fleet of bounty hunters picked up the Vengeance's trail. Fast interceptors closed in, backed by stealth bombers and stolen Krelon tech. "Target locked," one pirate captain said. "Bring her down." They didn't expect what happened next. As they entered Sector 12, their sensors went blind. Lightning storms filled the nebula. Signals broke apart. Then came the Vengeance. It moved like a shadow. Fast. Deadly. Invisible until the last second. The first bounty ship exploded without warning. Then another and another. Inside the warship, Sarah guided the weapons while the AI flew. "Left side, 3 bombers," she shouted. "Intercepting." Laser fire lit up the darkness. Enemy ships vanished in seconds, but more kept coming. A pirate dreadnought fired a massive railgun blast. The Vengeance dodged, but the edge of the blast scraped its shields. Alarms rang. Sarah gritted her teeth. "We can't keep this up forever." The AI agreed. Probability of survival decreasing. Suggest backup plan. Like what? Let them board. Sarah stared in shock. "You want them to board this ship?" "Yes. Controlled access." "Then, we lock them in." She smiled. "That's insane. I like it." The next wave of attackers tried something new. 3 assault ships flew in close, pretending to crash. Instead, they attached boarding claws. They cut through the outer hull and entered the lower levels. Sarah watched them on the internal cams. 20 armed mercs inside, moving fast, activating trap corridors. The AI closed bulkhead doors, behind the intruders. Then it released knockout gas. The mercenaries dropped one by one. Sarah walked to the holding bay to see them herself. She looked at the last awake pirate who glared at her. "You're just one woman," he spat. She leaned. "Close. I'm one human, and that's enough." As the attackers failed, the galaxy watched. On black market screens, warlords and slavers saw the Vengeance win again. The legend grew stronger, and hope, something lost for a long time, started to rise. Across deep space, some old allies of Earth took notice. The Tolan Republic, the Mirak Enclave, even a few rogue Krelon scientists, they sent out secret messages. If a human lives, Earth may rise again. Back on the ship, Sarah stood at the control room window. She looked out into the stars. The AI's voice came quietly. "New signal. Detected. Same as before. Another human cryo code." Sarah turned fast. "Where?" "Deep region. Zone 0. Forbidden space. Coordinates locked." She took a breath. Her hand rested on the cold glass. "If there's one more, we're not just surviving anymore." She looked at the AI's central lens. "We're rebuilding," the AI responded. "Then we must survive the final hunt." At that moment, across the galaxy, a hidden Krelon fleet activated. 10 stealth ships, no symbols, no names, commanded by the Shadow Admiral, Vurok's final weapon. Unlike the others, these ships had no orders to capture. Their only mission: destroy the Vengeance, kill the human, no records, no survivors. They moved like ghosts, and they were already on their way. The stars were silent. The Vengeance floated through dark space, wounded but unbroken. Inside, Sarah Kessler stood at the command console. Her eyes were sharp, her voice steady. "Status? Shields at 64%. Weapon systems ready. Human life form stable," the AI replied. They were heading toward Zone 0, where a new human signal had been detected, but danger was near. The Krelon Empire had sent their final answer. 10 stealth ships. No lights, no beacons. Pure killers. They approached without sound, undetectable by normal scanners. But the vengeance wasn't normal. Deep inside the ship, old systems rebooted. The AI had sacrificed much, but one forgotten system still worked. Project Hellstar, an experimental threat detection grid. The AI activated it. Across the hull, blue lights shimmered. Tiny drones launched in every direction. Seconds later, they returned data. Enemy ships detected. 10. Full stealth mode. Surrounding us. Sarah looked at the map. Red dots everywhere. They're trying to box us in. Affirmative. Attack in less than 5 minutes. She breathed in, then gave the order. Then we make our final stand. The enemy fleet attacked, silent. Missiles flew through the void, energy beams sliced toward the warship. The Vengeance moved like a living beast, dodging, countering, striking back. Sarah and the AI worked together like one mind. Port side, she shouted. Countermeasures launched. Target rear flanker, firing plasma barrage. One enemy ship exploded, then another. But the Vengeance took damage too. Its armor cracked, lights flickered. One reactor core began to overheat. Warning, core instability detected. Sarah wiped sweat from her brow. How long do we have? 8 minutes until critical failure. Suddenly, one enemy ship broke formation. It fired a spike missile, an old Krelin tech designed for only one thing, ship core penetration. It hit. The lights went dark. Silence fell. Sarah woke up seconds later, her head pounding. Smoke filled the bridge. AI. Report. No answer. She stood up, limping to the emergency controls. Come on, don't die on me now. The screen blinked once. Then the voice came, weak, glitching. System. Damaged. Defending. Protocol. Final. Stage. The AI was still. Fighting, but barely alive. Just like her. She looked at the main weapon, the Heaven's Fist, a massive cannon that had never been used. It needed full power. It needed a human key. She placed her hand on the console. Lieutenant Sarah Kessler. Confirm code Omega-47 Charlie, the ship responded. Heaven's Fist, online. Outside, the last 4 enemy ships moved in. They thought the warship was finished, but they were wrong. The Vengeance powered up its final weapon. From its center, a bright light gathered, pure energy, growing with every second. Sarah gave the final order, fire! The blast tore through space, blinding, silent, total. The enemy fleet didn't even have time to scream. Every ship gone. Then, silence again. Inside the Vengeance, the core failed. Explosions rocked the ship. Sarah fell to the floor as flames burst from broken panels. AI, get us out! No answer. She dragged herself to the escape pod bay. Only one pod still worked. She hesitated. She looked back at the ship, at the AI that had protected her, taught her, saved her. I'm sorry, she whispered. She entered the pod. The door closed. The pod launched. Behind her, the warship burned, and then it vanished into the dark. Hours passed. Then, the pod was found. A Tolan scout ship picked up her signal. They opened the hatch and found her alive. She looked at them, her voice barely a whisper. The Vengeance is gone. The captain nodded. But you're not. Months later, in a hidden starbase, Sarah stood in front of a crowd. Aliens, ex-soldiers, scientists. She spoke clearly. We lost Earth. We lost billions. But we are not finished. She held up a small device, the AI's backup core. It gave everything to protect me, and I won't let that be for nothing. She looked out at the crowd. I am Lieutenant Sarah Kessler. I am human. And I declare the rebirth of the Terran legacy. The crowd stood, and in that moment, hope returned to the stars.